And welcome back. Finding the right assisted living and memory care community can feel overwhelming, but our next guest, Jay Miner, has that all in hand. He is here. He's the owner of Assisted Living Locators. Jay, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to be here.
Great to be here too. Thank you for being here. And my first question is, how did you get into the business of doing this in the first place? This is kind of a very specialty kind of area.
It really is. And several years ago, I didn't even know that this was an industry that people did.
Oh, okay.
So I was a pastor for about 25 years. I did ministry with my wife for about 25 years. And a couple years ago, as we were transitioning out of that, I was searching for something to do where I felt like I could still really be connected with people and help people. And I love walking people through difficult, challenging moments in their life. And when I found out about a senior living advisor helping people find assisted living places, I thought, oh, this is perfect. And I really love getting to do this.
And it's still a service for people, right? Because this is a world that you don't know about until you have to know about it. It's almost like a funeral kind of service world or something like that, where it's like you're thrust into a situation where we need to find somebody now. Sometimes it can be that quickly for memory care or some help with the elderly. So when that happens, when people realize they need that, what are the first steps they do when they come to you?
Right. Oftentimes they'll start to notice, okay, there are physical things that start to happen. They can no longer safely stay at home, or there are cognitive issues that are starting to really make themselves present, and it feels like we need to start looking. So it can either be a crisis or people can be looking ahead, and either way I can help people. But what often people will do is they'll listen to, well, my friends have gone to Freedom Village, or my friends have gone to the Wellington, and so those will be kind of the only places that they'll go, just because those are the ones that are familiar to them and the ones that they know about.
Why is it important? Why can't I do my own internet search? Why can't I do my own kind of thing? Why is it so vital to have someone like you be there as that liaison?
Right. Absolutely, people can do their own research on the internet, which most of us do. You want to find something out, you Google it. What can happen when you're looking for assisted living then is you will then your name will somehow get put on somebody's list. And so if you start to do research on the internet, all of a sudden you're going to get 10 to 15 phone calls a day from all these different places around. What I'm able to do as a senior living advisor is I get to be the buffer between my clients and all of those different places. So I actually make all the phone calls for them. I set up all the tours for them. And so my clients are not having to field all those phone calls. I get to actually walk them through, kind of similar to what a real estate agent would do.
Right.
I get to be that advocate for them. So I'm not a salesperson, I'm an advocate for my client to help them find the best situation.
Right. And you know the facilities, right? Because not only have you toured with folks, but you probably go there and you've kind of done your own, looking into an investigative kind of work there, right?
I do, yeah. I know all of the ones down here in South County. I've been to all of them. I know the people who are in there. I know what their personalities of the different facilities are like. I know what their strengths are. I know some of their weaknesses. Sometimes they'll be going through staffing changes that are causing some problems, and I'll know maybe this isn't the best one right now at this time. And I know the ones that really seem to be doing well. I also know the ones that are better for people with higher medical needs. Versus some of the ones who are really better for people who are more independent, may need a little bit of help, but really want a lot of activities and a great social scene for them to be in. And so I get to, ahead of time, find out from my clients, okay, what do you need? What are your situations? And then I come back with a list of here's a few places that we can go that really fit you perfectly.
Okay. And after the holidays can also be a time where families got together and then they notice mom and dad aren't doing so hot or something like that, right? So you get a lot of children or relatives doing these calls, or is it the people themselves who say, hey, I think I need some help?
I actually get both. I do get probably about half my calls are from adult children who are trying to look out for their parents. And then the other half are just people themselves. I got a call last week from a great lady here in Laguna Woods that was trying to figure out for her and her husband, what is our next step and where do we go next? And we had a great conversation, and we're setting up, kind of a plan for her to start doing some really good research.
And so when a family or an individual sits down with you, is there an assessment process they kind of start? Okay, you kind of figure out where they're at, what their needs might be, and what the right fit might be for them?
I have a phone call with them or sit down and have coffee with them, and I just kind of ask a bunch of questions that are going to help me know how to help them. Now, the beautiful thing, though, about my industry and what we do is that I get a referral fee from wherever they end up moving into. So everything I do for my clients, all that research, all those phone calls, it's all free.
Oh, wow.
It's no cost for them. And so, I mean, it's such a great service for people who are, trying to figure out how do I do this well, but I'm able to help them, and really at no cost for them, which is so cool.
What does it feel like for you in terms of being able to help folks like this and be like you said, you wanted to find a place where you could still serve in your community?
Yeah, I love it. It brings me a lot of joy. Like when I get up in the morning, I know that what I'm doing is helping people. And my father passed from Alzheimer's almost 10 years ago, and I wish that I had somebody helping me walk through the process. And so now I feel like I get to be that for other families and other people, and it's kind of how I was built, and I love doing this.
Now, occasionally, sometimes people go into a place and it does not work out. I don't like here. So what can be done in that sense? I mean, hey, you signed up, you moved in. You don't just walk away from it, do you?
Well, a lot of these communities, they don't have a lease, you don't have a contract, you're just on a month-to-month. And so I do move people.
Yeah, so you can come in and say, okay, this isn't working, let's figure out, let's reassess. Because maybe what they thought they wanted or they needed wasn't quite, when they realized they got there, it wasn't the same.
Exactly. Or sometimes things change. You'll be in a community and then 2 years later you'll realize the staff changed or the philosophy changed, and maybe it doesn't fit you now anymore. Or your friends that were there moved on and you want to find a different place to be. So yeah, I help people move. And not just from the big communities, I also work with the smaller private board and care homes. These are the residential homes all around us that can take up to 6 residents at a time. And sometimes a community isn't the right fit, but that board and care where you get more specific care is the perfect fit for somebody. So I work with all of those kind of places.
Okay. Sometimes the family may say, I think mom or dad is ready for this, but mom or dad say they're not. I'm not sure I'm there yet. How do you kind of walk people through that process?
That is always a challenging conversation, and it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of understanding of what the resistance is, and really being able to draw that out and hear what people's fears and concerns are. And oftentimes some really good conversations can help. And that is one of the ways that I'm able to help families, because between family members, things can kind of get tense in conversations, but having an objective third party can be really helpful. And then other times that's just a really difficult conversation to have. And,
well, they feel like there's a lot of loss there, right? Hey, I'm going to lose my independence. I'm going to lose of these things. These are the things I like to do in my routine and my familiarity, and all of a sudden there's something strange and new and different, and that can be a scary transition for anybody.
There's a lot of fear that goes into it, and just the loss of this is how my life has been. Now I'm having to lose that and transfer into something else. And so those are really helpful conversations to be able to have, and I've had them all. I've seen people go through the process, and so I'm able to help them kind of see what the benefits are. Yes, you're losing this, but you are gaining all of these things.
That's what I was going to ask, is that can it sometimes be an eye-opening, like, oh, somebody's going to help me with my shopping, somebody's going to help me with these things, and then maybe they warm up to the idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when you go through this process with folks, what is the usual time frame of, like, first sit down to we have a placement?
It really depends on what each client is looking for. I can do it, and I can help somebody turn it around in 48 hours if that's what the need is.
Okay.
There's some things that have to fall into place to do that. But I also really enjoy when I've got someone who's thinking 2 to 3 months down the road, and we can go look at some places and take our time. We don't feel rushed, and then make a good choice for where we want to be on March 1st, and think that through. So I can handle either way with people. It just depends on what they need.
Okay, what's the first step so people can get a hold of you and make that process begin?
Just give me a call. I'm happy to talk with anybody anytime and answer their questions. My phone number is 949-444-9055, and I'm happy to speak with anybody at any time.
All right, the website's up on the screen too, assistedlivinglocators.com. Jay Miner, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.